Steve Guarino, KOR the Sports of Fight Hub TV, right here with Eddie Hearn. Man, just quickly, let's the FIFA, England's out. Man, I was after Mexico lost.
Do you know the worst thing is? Do you know the worst thing is? I was on a plane.
Oh.
It was so painful because I'm trying to get it. They didn't have Starlink. They just had normal Wi-Fi. I couldn't get it up on my phone. So I'm like watching live updates. I'm in a group chat with my mates, and we're funny, England, right? It's like we're only a small country, but the expectation is that we should be automatically winning the World Cup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for us to make the semis, I think it's an unbelievable achievement. But there's a big uproar at the moment that we were ahead in the game, and then we just started playing so defensively. We brought people back, and we allowed them just to have us under siege. I guess it's easier said than done to just switch it up and go, okay, we're under pressure. Let's be more attacking.
Right.
I don't know enough about soccer, but
right,
you know what I mean. But I think we've done remarkably well. And at the end of the day, everyone tried their best. So that's all you can ever ask for.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Man, we got a good one this weekend with Diego Pacheco, Aleem. Aleem put up a great fight against Lester Martinez, who got a draw against the champion, right? And Chris and Billy. Just what do you expect to see out of Diego Pacheco?
I think there's a lot of pressure on this fight. Diego made a really mature decision after the Sadjo fight, which was a great fight. And by the way, people aren't fighting Sadjo. That was a tough guy to face. Mm-hmm. That he just wasn't firing, and he wanted to change trainers. He wanted to change environment, and he forgoed the Hamza Shiraz fight, right? Because he said, I think I can beat Hamza Shiraz, but I know I can beat him under Buddy McGirt in one or two more fights' time. And we're probably a little bit more reckless and aggressive, where normally we just go, yeah, let's go for it. We'll work it out. You'll be all right on the night kind of thing. But he was mature enough to say, give me my time. I'm 24 years of age. He's 25 and 0. He's 6'4", Mexican-American, South Central LA. He's got the potential and the ability to become a star of the sport. So, but then you he's not reversing. He's just treading water. So now you're under the pressure. You've got to really go out there and show that you made the right decision. Plus, it's your first fight with Buddy. That's sometimes difficult. It's very unusual to work with a new trainer and just come out and change fighter overnight. So I like the fight. I think it's a very dangerous fight. I think Aleem seems right up for it. They really believe they can win this fight. There's a lot of pressure. And I think it'll be a good fight.
That was kind of where I was thinking it was going, right? The Hamza Shiraz, obviously Lester Martinez, is a former title challenger. Who do you see as maybe the next name guy that we?
Well, the one that we really wanted was Jaime Munguia, right? And I spoke to Fernando Beltran many times about that fight. I think it's a huge fight for Los Angeles. He went on, done brilliant, and won the world title. So now we'd kind of be challenging for the belt, which is sometimes a little bit more difficult to work out a deal, but. I don't think Diego's going to struggle to get a shot, whether that's against Hamza, whether that's against Munguia, whether that's even against Canelo Alvarez. Because you look at Canelo, if he beats Billy, and Diego's coming through looking good, he'll be 26, 27 and 0 from Los Angeles, Mexican American. He's a good contender for a Canelo Alvarez fight. So, yeah, I think Saturday's going to tell us a lot, and there's quite a lot of pressure and expectation on Diego.
You mentioned obviously now Munguia is a champion, so maybe things change. A similar situation where now you have a champion. Maybe things changes obviously with Boots and Virgil. I talked to Bozy earlier, and he said Virgil's on the back burner. That they want champions, either Fundora, hopefully December. He said Josh Kelly obviously fights in a week or something
next
like
week,
that. Yeah. Is Virgil just kind of, I guess, on the back burner as far as you're concerned as well?
Not really, but you've got to really show us the motivation to fight Virgil, right? Now, the motivation is it's a great fight for American boxing, one of the best fights in the sport. But, just if you can just think with a balanced head for a minute and say, we were taking the smaller end of the deal to fight Virgil before. Boots signed for it. And the reason that he was doing that is because he knew he would beat him and he would become a star, right? He wasn't happy about it, but he agreed to do it. He signed. Virgil never signed. Now, I know Virgil wanted the fight, but obviously had his mess, whatever. We had a gift from God, and we got the Xander Zayas fight. Thank you, Xander, for being a great champion and top rank. Thank you for making a great fight. And that night, on June 27th, changed everything in the division. A new star was born in Jerome Boots Ennis, and a unified world champion was born. Now you've got like Rick Meridian coming back to me saying, well, we've already done a deal. We had the deal in place. We had the structure in place. Like, what the fuck? Are you mad? Right? So what I'm saying is, Boots would fight Virgil Ortiz in a heartbeat, but you have to incentivize him to take that fight rather than doing what he should be doing as a champion and collecting the other belts and becoming undisputed. Now, it's always on me, right? So it's like, come on, Eddie, make the fight. It's like, well, what about you make us an offer? You want the fight so bad. We spent a year chasing that fight, calling, begging, throwing numbers, crunching numbers. Now you want the fight so bad, send me an email, make me an offer, right? But Boots is a champion who's after legacy and after belts. So he's like, I'll fight Virgil, yeah, no problem. Can we not become undisputed? I'm like, yeah, but we can do it. And the reason why that fight is going to be attractive, and Boots, I say Boots isn't a money guy, he's making a lot of money, but Boots is legacy, and the legacy brings money, right? He's not how much. But I'm gonna have to go to him and say, this Virgil Ortiz fight is significantly more money than Josh Kelly or Fundora. So that's why we should pivot. Because at the moment, Boots, you see him with the belts, like he wants every belt, he wants to be undisputed. And it's like, I think he just feels like sometimes, it's not a waste to fight Virgil Ortiz, but you're losing an opportunity to capture a belt. So, Virgil Ortiz, fight Josh Kelly. Virgil Ortiz, fight Fundora. And we will fight Virgil Ortiz, no question, but we've never had an offer. It's just Eddie make the fight, you know what I mean? So I have to really, it's not really my job to push that fight to Boots. If the opportunity comes, I will go to him and say, listen, I think we should consider this. It's a great fight, it's a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. And he will weigh it up. How much is the Kelly fight? How much is the Fundora fight? Because that's what I want. Now, if you want me to fight this guy, if the fans want me to fight this guy, no problem. But, you know, I'm not trying to be difficult as well, but it's like, to not regard what's just happened is mental. I mean, Virgil's in the wilderness right now. That's the truth. And he's a great fighter. I like him, but he ain't fought for a year coming up. Like, Boots is red hot. Every time I open up my social media, boom, Boots is everywhere. Everybody's talking about him.
Man, you called the Shakur signing to Zufa, kind of before anybody else had kind of caught wind of anything. So I want to do like a little what have you heard? Because so what have you heard about Devin Haney? He seems kind of being
do you know what? No, he's not. I've got to be honest, right? And I just said this in an interview. People are saying right now, Devin Haney's in no man's land. I actually think Devin Haney is in a brilliant position, right? Because Devin Haney was going to sign with Zuffa. He probably still will. I don't know where he's up to, right? I think that, I know the numbers they're giving Shakur. Great deal for Shakur. He gave up his legacy, but he's got legacy. And now he's got a great deal. Good for him. They really need him to fight Devin Haney, because when you're paying someone that much money, who are you going to put him in with? And the narrative that they bleed into fighters is so bizarre. Like, you got Shakur up there going, the great thing about this deal is it's the best v the best, and I can fight whoever I want. No, you can't. What are you talking about? You got a load of the champions and big names on the zone with other promoters. You can't fight who you want, right? Now, who else can you fight right now? Rayo Valenzuela, good fighter. But you're going to pay Shakur that kind of money to fight Rayo Valenzuela. They need Devin Haney. They need to make that fight. And actually, as much as it pains me to say the position that Devin and Bill are in right now, and I love them, they should be saying, you really need me right now. Don't you, Zuffa? Because what other fight is going to be worth paying Shakur that kind of money other than Devin Haney? And the problem is with Devin and Bill, when they understand they have leverage, God, they are fucking hard work. Do you know what I mean? So good luck to Devin. I think if he plays it right, you see, yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Last time we spoke about the AJ Fury kind of who's promoting it, Dana saying he's promoting it. I believe you told me he could do it if you give him your permission.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what happened with Ryan and Conor Benn, because we got the email from Paramount Oscar Kent went on social media saying it's done. Obviously, he had some involvement, but I guess, what do you think that looks like, right? The Ryan versus.
I think it's really interesting. I mean, the politics of it, because these guys, and I'm not going to get into the back and forth because I guess we've had peace talks and all that kind of stuff, but they think they can do anything, right? They think they can interfere with fighter contracts, with broadcast contracts. They expected Ryan Garcia against Conor Benn to be a Zuffa show on Paramount. That is it. And Sky Sports, which is their other partner, right? It's now a ring card, co-promoted by Oscar de la Hoya and Zuffa on the Zone and Paramount. But and I think that is it's good for them because it's incredibly humbling. It's teaching them how boxing works. People don't lay down. Oscar de la Hoya don't go, oh, yeah, you have Ryan Garcia. Yeah, I've just put all my work and life into Ryan. Have him. He fights to the end, and he's done brilliant. The Zone, masterpiece from them, masterclass. Now it's a ring card, right? And now the Zone have got it in the UK. I actually think it's a bigger fight in the UK than it is in the US because everybody knows Conor, everybody knows Ryan, and it's on the Zone. So, and now you've got Oscar de la Hoya up there with Dana co-promoting it. And by the way, I think that's great for the fight. They should embrace that, but they can't because they're control freaks. And it will be eating them up so bad that it's not really even their show. Do you know what I mean? Whereas it was supposed to be. They gave Conor Benn all that money to have the control to do that fight. Now they're doing it with Golden Boy. And the funnier thing is, it wasn't so long ago that Nick Khan was on the stand testifying in the Muhammad Ali Act, crucifying the WBC and crucifying Maurizio Sulaiman. Now they're promoting a WBC event where the beautiful green and gold belt is in the ring and Maurizio will be in there holding it around amongst Dana and Nick. It's like, this is boxing. You cannot make it up. It's unbelievable, the drama. So, but listen, well done for everybody because it's a good fight. It's an exciting fight for boxing. And
who wins the fight itself? How does
I don't like Conor at 147. I don't believe he should be fighting down there. I think, look, he had those 2 fights with Eubank at 160. I'm not saying he's a middleweight. He fought Regis at 150, was it, or 151? He looked terrible in that fight. 147's brutal for him now. He trains so hard, but I don't think he has power down there. I don't think he'll have the chin down there. And Ryan's a world-class fighter. I know he's had his defeats and sometimes he's had his off nights, but he's very sharp and he's a big puncher. But it'll be fun because Conor's got big balls. He'll have a right go. And, just can't wait to see Oscar de la Hoya at the press conference.
I think we all can't wait for that one. Just going back to the AJ Fury, obviously they're both fighting next weekend. The rumor is we're going to get a date and kind of all this stuff, whatever the details are. What could you tell us about given they both win next?
I mean, we're waiting. No one knows where the fight's going to take place. All we know is what's in the contract, which clearly states it must be in the UK. But as we had the meeting, with Frank Warren and Spencer Brown and Turki Al-Sheikh, if they want to hold the fight somewhere else, we're not going to not discuss it. But the contract's got to change. And then next Saturday, Friday and Saturday, Tyson Fury fights, Anthony Joshua fights. Really, after that fight, we should be saying the date is November the X at X. But we won't be in a position to do that if it's not in the UK because it's going to take time to work out what we're going to do. So, look, I just want the fight to happen. Of course, I want it in the UK. It's the biggest fight in the history of our country. It's one of the biggest fights in the history of the sport. Listen, they want it in New York. We want it in London. We'll find a way. But fingers crossed we can get it over the line in the UK.
And just last one for me, man. Just big fight in August. Rolly versus Teofimo.
Yeah.
I know Catterall's technically Rolly's mandatory, I believe, but just that fight itself, Rolly versus Teo.
Yeah, good fight. Yeah. I mean, look, Jack's he's not unlucky, but he really deserves his opportunity. He won against Gearsov. He's the regular world champion. And there's an order from the WBA, 180 days, where Teo has to fight Jack. So there's nothing. They're not doing anything wrong in this fight. It's within that period. But the winner of that fight should have to fight Jack Catterall. Good fight. I expect Teo to win the fight, but I like Rolly. He's good fun. He's been out for a long time. You know, he's been out for a year already. And it's like, you know, it's very difficult to come back and fight a fighter like Tio, having been out of the ring for so long. So, yeah, good fight.
Eddie, appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for bringing another good one.